Hi everyone, welcome back to Bond. Today we are doing a tone class and we're gonna make it a little bit of a spicier flow. So Alyssa is with us today. She's gonna be doing the class alongside of you. And we're just gonna get started in a standing position. No props today, just make sure you have a little bit of water nearby in case you need it throughout class. So we're just gonna start by rolling out your arms a little bit, making some big circles with your shoulders coming all the way down the back, nice and slowly up the front. Keep doing that. Just a few more reps and you can get your breath involved. If you want to inhale it up the front of the body, exhale down the back of the body. And you can get your arms moving as well. Get them going in the same direction as the shoulders. And when you're ready, you can switch directions from the bottom here. So now you're going to inhale up the back body, exhale down the front. Beautiful, just slowly warming things up before we get into some of our standing series here. We'll do two more big ones here, down the front, up the back body. And down the front, inhaling up the back body, pausing somewhere in the middle, shaking it out a little bit. So first thing we're gonna get into are some squats. So feet are just a little bit wider than hip width apart, more of a narrow stance, so we're not quite yet in our plie squat. And you're just gonna sit down and come up. You don't have to make them too deep yet because we are just getting warmed up. So just down and up. Hands can move with the body like how Alyssa's are, coming close together and then straightening. Or you can even keep them on your thighs, sliding them down the fronts of your legs and then sliding them back up as you stand. Make this nice and slow here, just coming down and up, pushing into the heels every time you rise. Down and up. Down, slowly warming up. So keeping your shoulders open, rooting down again through the heels. Shoulders are dropped away from your ears. Chest is nice and proud. We'll do 3 more like this. 2 more. And last one, we'll take a pause at the top, just shake it out a little bit. Feet are gonna come a little bit more narrow now, just right underneath the hips. And we're gonna come into these squats, but you're gonna pause at the bottom for a second and take a nice deep bow forward. Feel your glutes fire up as you rise back up to standing and then come to standing. So you squat, come into the bow, rise the torso, then rise the body. Squat, bow forward, nice. So your hips are staying in the same position as you bow, your chest is just dropping towards the knees. And you'll feel your glutes and bum start to fire up a little bit more as you rise out of that bow, trying to keep your spine as straight and as neutral as possible. 3 more like this and then we're gonna hold at the bottom. Nice, 2 more coming down. Use your breath in a way it makes you feel strong. And last one, we're gonna hold here at the bottom. So you're just gonna bow and rise, and bow and rise, trying to keep it nice and slow. You don't have to go too deep, but if you can get your chest down a little further, maybe sit your hips a little bit lower now that we've nicely warmed up these joints. Can you work them a little bit harder? Press the heels into the mat. Hands can push into the thighs as you come out of the bow every time. Nice. Down and up. Trying to lower the entire upper body, not just the head. So head moves as well, but you really feel the belly come close to the thighs every time, like you're closing that gap in there. Abs engage, pull the belly button in towards your spine as you move. For 3, rise up. 2, rise up. Last one, rise up fully, come to standing, shake things out. We are gonna step nice and wide now coming into our plie. So feet are out quite wide, much wider than hip distance apart, and your toes are on that 45-degree angle to the body. So you can think of your toes as pointing to that corner edge of your mat. And you're just gonna keep your arms out for this one the entire time, or as long as you can. If you need to drop them at any point, you can. But even without weights, this will build up in the shoulders. So try to keep them at shoulder strength and strength through the fingers. So your hands aren't just dangling here. See how Alyssa's fingers are extended nice and long, keeping that strong. So we're gonna lower into a plie squat here and rise back up. Push in through the heels again every time you rise up. And it's like your body is sliding between those 2 panes of glass. So you're not sticking your bum out, but you're keeping it nice and in line with the body. Down and up, slow and steady, down and up. Feel the heat start to build. If you push your knees back a little bit, can you engage your inner thighs more every time you rise up? Press in through the heels, nice. Arms lift a little bit higher. They're in line with your shoulders. They're also in that pane of glass. Yes, beautiful. Keep going at this pace. Come down, push in through the heels, breathe. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. As slowly as you come down, you come up as well. So we lower, lower, lift, lift. lower, lower, lift, lift. Beautiful. Got a few more here. We're gonna hold at the bottom and pulse. Like I said, this one was gonna be spicy. So if you're starting to feel it already, that's a great sign. So we come down for 2 and up. Last one, we're gonna hold down here at the bottom. Tiny pulses, sit your bum a little bit lower and up, lower and up, lower and up, lower and up. Keep strength through the fingertips. Can you reach your arms a little bit wider, like you're grabbing for opposite sides of the room? Head stays in the middle and you're just reaching, reaching, reaching with your arms. Pulse down for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come to standing. Anytime you need to drop your arms, you can, but if you're still able to hold them nice and strong, we keep them here. So feet come back out. This time we're gonna resume with your right heel lifted. So use your calf to pull your right heel up. We're gonna squat down and up. Heel stays lifted the whole time. Down and up. Just see how different it feels when you have one knee lifted like that, a little bit engaged from those different muscles. Push the knees back if you can, keep them out in line. Hands are back as well. Down and up, down and up. For 4, rise. Can you get a little lower? For 3, rise. 2, and we hold at the bottom. You know we're gonna pulse. Hands up a little higher. We hold down here, pulse up, 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 up. Nice, heels lifted even more if you can. Arms higher and wider, chest is nice and open. Sit lower. For 4, pulse. 3, 2, 1. Rise up, switch heels, hands stay up. Now left heel lifts. We come down and up, down and up. Nice, down and up, down and up. Reach with the fingertips. See how different it feels now that the other heel is lifted. Can you get it a little higher off the mat? Use your calf muscles to rise it up and up. Yes, down and up, down and up. Push in through the supporting toe. Push in through the right heel every time you lift. Left stays lifted. For 3, you're gonna pulse in 2. Last one, hold down at the bottom here. Tiny pulses, lift that heel a little bit higher. Use your breath. Every time you come down, you're gonna breathe, 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 breathe. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, reach the arms. Last one, come up to standing. Both heels come down. Shake the shoulders out for just a second. We're on our last set of plies. This time you're gonna come, both feet are down on the mat again, or both heels are down on the mat again, and we're just coming down and up, arms back out. We come down and up, down and up. Regular squats here, regular plie squat. Nice. And up, down, reach the arms nice and wide. Your chest is open, down and up. For 4, we're gonna hold at the bottom. In 3, all the way, 2, and 1. Hold at the bottom here, nice and steady. Can you sink a little bit lower? And you're just gonna pulse your palms towards the ceilings now. So flip your hands upwards and tiny motions here, staying out with your back so they're not falling forward. Really feel your shoulders working. Push up, 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 up. Sit a little lower if you can, heavy through both heels. Arms are up, 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 up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the arms go. Let the legs go. Come back to the top of the mat. And we are gonna walk ourselves out, coming in down into the mat position. So from this position, you're just standing nice and tall. You're just gonna bend your knees, hinge at the hips, walk your hands out to a nice strong plank. Holding here for just a second. If you need to do from your forearms or from your wrists, whichever is more comfortable, we're gonna do it all from the wrists, but if you have any wrist injuries, you can always come down to the forearms, and also at any time you can come down to your knees. So make sure you're in this nice strong plank position so your shoulders are in line with your hips, there's no arch in your back, your belly button's pulling in towards your spine, and think about pushing the mat away with your hands. We're gonna take a deep breath here, feel the core start to work. Nice. Inhale again, all the way filling up at the top. And exhale everything fully. On your next breath, we're gonna put all the weight into the left hand and flip the body, opening up into a side plank here. Feet can stay staggered or you can stack them on top of each other. And always, if you need to bend the bottom knee for more support, you can place it down on the mat. But you're gonna be fully open, hips are stacked, shoulders are stacked, and we're gonna reach the right arm underneath. So twist, reach it underneath the left, in through that open space you're making under your armpit, and open back up to the front. Reach and open. Feel your obliques starting to work. The left side is working so hard. Muscles are starting to shake a little bit. Reach back and then open. Every time you open up, your gaze can follow your hand. If that makes the movement a little bit more fluid, whatever is working for you the most, keep your hips lifted a little bit higher. If you have it in you to lift your top leg off the mat as you come open, that's just an option, not necessary at all. Lift up and reach under. Just a few more. Every time you reach under, can you reach for that back wall as far as you can? Feel the obliques going. And lift. Push into the supporting arm. You're not collapsing into that shoulder. Nice. 2 more. Reach all the way back and open up. And last one, reach all the way back, open up, and then come back to a solid plank. If you need to pop down to your knees for just a second, now's a great time to do it. And then we're going to open up onto the other side in just one nice deep breath together here, preparing for that other open. And here we go. When you're ready, open up. All the weight is in the right arm. Lift the left. Beautiful. And start those reach unders right away. See if you can lift your hips a little bit higher as you reach under, really activating now the other side, the other obliques. Your one side's getting a tiny rest, if you can call it that, because you're still in this strong plank. And when you open to the side, you want to open fully into the side plank. So hips are stacked every time you come open. You can rest your feet on top of each other or keep staggered like Alyssa is right now. But you're going to reach and open. Use your breath in a way that makes you strong. I always say that because it's a little bit different for everybody. Maybe you want to exhale as you come under, making room for that twist. And inhale as you open up, so there's room to fill up with the breath. Can you pull your belly button in a little bit, hips a lift a little higher? Just a few more here. You're doing amazing. Reach, reach, reach. 3 more. Open up. You're doing so good. 2 more. Open all the way up. Last one. Open it up and close back to that center plank. And knees can come down to the mat. Push yourselves back into a nice little child's pose or shell pose just for a second here. You could also roll out your wrists or take a sip of water, whatever you need. We are going to come into a hands and knees position, into quadruped here. So hands will be directly underneath your shoulders, knees will be directly underneath your hips, and your spine is just in that nice neutral position. So we're not rounding too much or arching too much, but find yourself in the middle here somewhere. So knees are wide, hip distance apart. And hands are pressing under the shoulders. Your gaze can be on the mat in front of you, wherever feels comfortable for your neck to be nice and long. And we're just gonna breathe here for a second, finding that neutral spine, slowing it down, and then we're gonna come into some opposite arm leg reaches. So think about pushing into your left hand, pushing into your right knee, and lift the other limbs. So lifting right arm and left leg, reaching them out nice and long, and then just resting them back down on the mat. And switching sides here. So before you switch sides, think about transferring the weight so that you can keep your pelvis stable, pointing towards the ground. You're not opening up to one side, your hips are not dipping, and your belly button pulls into your spine a little bit more. This is like a full body exercise when you really think about each movement that you're doing, and you extend your arms so nice and long. Legs are extending, glutes are working, arms extending, back is going, and your core is pulling in nice and tightly. Beautiful. Keep reaching super slow. This pace is so good. See if you can extend your fingertips even further every time you open up. Can you point your toe and extend your leg all the way to the back wall? Nice. We'll do 1 more on each side, and then we're gonna hold it up. So 1 more loose like this with the right arm, left leg, back down. 1 more loose, left arm, right leg, back down. And then you're gonna open up and hold this one. Right arm is long, left leg is long. And you're just gonna hold it here for a second. Having this strong, strong position, can you lift your arm a little bit higher? Push into the left arm so you grow taller. You're growing away from the mat. Nice. Do you feel the difference? As soon as you think about pushing away, you actually get a little bit taller. Grow out of that hip. Lift your hand a little bit taller. Can we add some pulses here? A little bit of movement. You reach up, 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 up. Just for 5. Up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go. Switch sides right away. Reaching nice and long. See if you can extend, really stretch through your spine. Feel your abs stretching. And you reach your arm, you reach your legs as long as you can. Hold here. Just take a nice deep breath. Fingertips are pointed. Toes are pointed. And you pulse up, 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 up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Let everything come down. Pausing in this position here. We're gonna let both arms stay into the mat. So if you're having any wrist fatigue happening, take the second to just roll them out while I explain what's happening. And we're just gonna do some rainbow leg kicks. So we're gonna start with our left leg. That means our right knee is pushing into the mat. Left leg extends nice and far behind you like it just was, and hips are staying square to the mat. So try to resist the urge to open up and really engage the core. So belly button pulls in. Think about pulling wide across the front between your two hip bones. And we're just gonna make these nice rainbow arches with our legs. So tap the toes down, bring them over the body, tap them down to the other side. Squeezing the glute every time as you get to the top, trying to think about drawing a rainbow on the back wall with your big toe. So it comes over the top and taps down, over the top and taps down. Push into both hands, grow tall. You're doing so well here. Grow nice and tall, push in. Make these arches super big and round so you're not glitching in the middle. You're making it that smooth, smooth movement. Nice. Just a few more here. Cross it all the way over and back. Grow tall through supporting leg, tall through supporting arms. 2 more big ones here. Arch all the way around and down. All the way around and down. Last one. All the way around, crossing over the leg. And all the way around, coming back to middle. You can bend that knee, place it back on the mat. And we're gonna switch into the other side, feeling the glute work a little bit, shaking nicely from our standing series. And then coming into the other side here. So extending right leg, pressure is in the left knee. And we're just gonna start again right away with those arches. So cross it over, make that nice big rainbow, like you're drawing on the wall with your big toe. Beautiful. Can you press in? You're not sinking into your spine or into your shoulders. Press into the mat nice and strong. Beautiful. Tap it over and down. Over and down. Nice work. Really feeling the glute muscles squeezing at the top every time. Trying to make this as fluid as possible. Beautiful. Reach it up and over. Up and over. Just a couple more here. You're doing so well. Can you get a little higher and make that circle a little bit more round as you go? Last one coming this direction and over, and let the knee bend and come back in. From here, we're just gonna do a couple cat-cows to round out that work. So staying in this position just a little bit longer, you're just gonna think about arching your back, gaze comes up towards the ceiling, rounding your spine, gaze comes towards the knees. So we're just loosening this out before we come onto our backs for our final bit of work today. So sink heavy into the hands as you gaze up towards the ceiling. And then as you flip your gaze towards the knees, think about pushing heavy through the knees, rounding the neck, rounding the spine. 1 vertebrae at a time as you move through this motion. Maybe you inhale to look up towards the sky. As you feel your arch start to go, your abs are stretching out a little bit on the front. And then you exhale deeply, deeply to round the spine. Can you get the spinal cord towards the ceiling even more? And last one before you find yourself just in a neutral position, and however is comfortable for you to roll down to the mat, come to laying on your back. You're doing really well so far. We are almost done. So you're gonna come into this laying position. Your knees can be bent, feet can be flat on the mat, and arms can just be out at your sides. We're gonna warm up our hips super quickly before we work our core nice and hard. So when you're ready, you can push into the left knee, lift the right leg into tabletop, and we'll just hold it here for a second before lowering down and switching legs. So we're just gonna kind of walk it out in this stomping position just to warm up the hips, warm up the core, pressing your tailbone heavy into the back of the mat. Feel your abs sort of start to engage a little bit as you do this. Maybe they're working to pull the leg up, sort of as if you're your own marionette puppet and you're pulling the leg through the muscles that are inside. Nice. Lift and tap. Just a couple more. So we'll go left leg down, and then we'll do the last one on the right side and down, and last one on the left side and down. Then I want you to think about pushing heavy through your tailbone, lifting both legs at the same time into that tabletop position. You're gonna reach your hands for your shins as you peel your shoulder blades off the mat and tuck your hands on top of your shins here. Bring your knees in a little bit closer to your body. Inhale deeply, and as you exhale, stretch everything long, double leg stretch. Legs hover above the mat. Inhale, pull everything back in again. Shoulder blades are staying lifted the whole time. Reach the arms, tuck the legs. Breathing every time you come in, you can have a nice exhale. Inhale, extend all the way long. Exhale, hug it in. Can we pick up the pace here a little bit? Reach it long, shoulder blades are lifted, tailbone is heavy, abs are working so hard. Pull the belly button in a little bit more. Lift a little higher through the shoulders. Gazes on the belly button. Reach and pull. Reach and pull for 4. Pull in for 3. Pull in 2. Pull in 1. Pull in. Let it go. We're going to do it one more time. Take a deep breath here. Exhale to prepare. Lift the legs up into tabletop. Arms come out behind you. Shoulder blades lift up off the mat as you reach for the shins. Tuck in and long. Right away back to that quick pace. And long. In. Long. Toes are pointed nice and strong. The lower your legs are towards the mat, the more challenging it's going to be for the lower abdominals. So sink heavy through the tailbone. Really pull it all in. Arms are coming wide. Beautiful, beautiful. Tuck and reach. Tuck and reach for 5. Reach. 4. 3. Reach long. 2. Last 1. You can stay hugging in if it feels good for you. Rest the shoulder blades down. Rock a little bit from side to side. From here, you're already holding your knees in. We're gonna try a little bit of rolling like a ball, which is from the classical Pilates repertoire. So you're gonna hold in this position. You can think about rocking back a little bit, tuck the knees towards the chest, and then use the momentum to roll yourself forward, coming all the way almost up into a seated position. It doesn't have to be right away into seated, and you're just gonna roll back. So you're just rolling out on your spine a little bit. If you have any back problems, this move, I do not recommend doing it, so you can stay down holding the knees in. But if your spine is feeling good, you're just gonna roll up and down a few times here, feeling how good it feels to roll out those vertebrae one at a time. Pull the knees in a little bit harder. This technically is working your core as well. It's also just kind of fun. It's called roll like a ball. All right, one more, come all the way up. And then last one, come down to the mat. Beautiful. So our hard work for the day is done. We're just going to come into a couple of stretches. So if you like the feeling there where you were hugging your knees in, you're going to place one hand on each shin and you're going to pull the legs nice and wide. Let it relax a little bit. Variation here of happy baby. And if you wanted to reach for the soles of the feet and bring the legs up, you could do that as well. And you can find yourself rocking from side to side here. I hope that the spiciness of this lived up to the name. Yes, challenging. So you can rock from side to side a little bit more. If you have it in you to maybe straighten one leg at a time just to get the backs of the legs stretched out. I know that takes quite a lot of flexibility, and you could even just straighten it a tiny bit and feel this one, I'm sure. And then switch to the other side when you're ready. And one more time with both legs, just happy baby, rock it out. And then you can extend both legs nice and long on the mat. Hands are going to come above you, clasped together in this sort of high prayer position. And you're just going to think about rocking to one side, twisting the spine out a little bit here. Really slowly on this one. You don't have to get too deep at first. And then rock to the other side. So you're leading with your breastbone here. Tailbone stays planted into the mat. And you're really twisting through that upper mid-spine. Nice. And just 2 more here. Come all the way down to the right. And then over to the left, slowing your breath down here. And last one, all the way over to the right. Beautiful. As much stretching as you want to stay and do, always recommend doing this on your mat for a little bit longer. But this is where we leave you for today. So thank you so much for moving with us as always. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and we will see you next time. Have a wonderful rest of your day.